All right. Okay, so you don't need anything, just yourselves. So first start, we're gonna go through this 4 times, so this will be fun. Start off balancing on, we'll do left leg first. Right leg is just slightly elevated, almost like you're just setting it on like an imaginary pile of magazines. And just bring both fingertips as close down to the ground as you can get, and then come all the way back up. So my right foot, if you can see it, is just slightly elevated. Fingertips come down, come all the way back up. Go through 10 of those on the left side, and then 10 on the right side. Maybe I'll get some music on, because why not? Otherwise, it feels so quiet in here. All right, so the idea is you're trying to keep the hips high, the weight even on the foot, and you don't have that right leg to get to swing back like we normally do, right? When you're done with those 10, switch to the other side, fresh foot, fresh leg, 10 touchdowns, come all the way back up. So make sure you're coming all the way back up to the point where the shoulders are stacked over the hips, you're not cutting it short. Reach all the way down, come all the way back to standing. So you'll see this 4 different times. We're gonna do a different variation each round. We're gonna change what you're doing with that free leg. All right, 10 on each side. Once you're done with those 10, now we have this kind of interesting combination. So whenever you're ready, start with some space to your right. You're going into this big side lunge. There you'll feel like a big stretch in that straight leg. Rotate everything towards that bent knee. So now you're getting a stretch in the front of that leg. If your left leg is behind you, then the left arm's gonna reach up and over the head, and then you're gonna reverse all the way out of that and come back to neutral. You're doing 5 of those. So it's a big side lunge, rotation towards that bent knee, reach the arm over the head. You should feel a big stretch through the core, and then come back out of that. So it should be a slow, smooth, controlled, connected movement. All right, 5 of those. We should have 2 more. It should feel like each time you go through that movement, you're able to get a little bit further into it. All right, last one, side lunge. Turn towards the knee. Reach the left arm up. And maybe you move slower or faster than I did through that. Either way, it's cool. All right, so when you do the other side now, you want to make sure you have room to your left. Same 5. Side lunge. Rotation towards that knee. Now the right arm comes up and over the head. Eyes go up, chin goes up. Back to the front. Back to neutral. 5 of these. So you're gonna see these 2 more times. Each time we're gonna change what the arm does, basically what the spine does in that deep lunge. All right, last one. Ish, maybe you did 4, maybe you did 6. We do 5-ish. All right, so from there, feet together, chin to the chest, roll down slowly, walk the hands out to a plank. We're gonna go through push up, knee tuck, 10 of those. So the knees are never really coming down to the ground. They're just like hovering off the floor. And even if you can just do this like half push up, go for it. It would be better to do that and keep the knees off the ground than to drop the knees down, at least for this exercise. 10 of these. So we're gonna keep adding to this movement as well. All right. Those should all be smooth and connected. Find any point where you feel like you could be pausing and see if you can eliminate that pause. All right, when you're done with those 10, stand back up slowly. So we're back to those single leg touchdowns. This time, remember the first round that foot was just elevated. This time now we're just gonna take that leg out to the side and just ask it to stay there. So it throws up the balance. Try to bring the fingertips down to the ground and come all the way back up. So we call this pre-positioning the legs. they're basically just put in their place and told to stay there. And then everything else moves around. So it should feel harder because now you don't have all of your center of gravity closer into that central point. Now you have a leg further away from you that's making everything a little harder. That should be 10-ish. Same thing on the other side. So now you go right foot down, left foot out. See if you can keep it there, that hip stays engaged. And if you can't go all the way down, doesn't matter. The idea is you're just hinging over from the hips. 10 of these. See if you can exhale on the way down, inhale on the way back up. And that's counterintuitive. Normally we breathe out on the way up, but often you can exhale going into a stretch and it'll make it a little better. All right, 10-ish. When you're done with that, we're going back to that little side lunge combination. So you just need a little bit of space to your right. The side lunge and the twist are the same, but rather than reaching over the head, now we're gonna reach in this big lean, still over the head, but in a frontal plane position. So start with that big side lunge, stretch, rotation towards that bent knee. And now I'm gonna bring my left bicep to my left ear and try to lean over towards the right side. And then come out of that, back to neutral. So do 5 of those. It's big side lunge, rotation towards the right knee, big lean up and over the head. And if it helps to kind of connect your right hand or right forearm to the quad while you're doing that big lean, it just gives you a little stability. Maybe just gives you something to do with that right arm, really. All right, 2 more of these. Big side lunge, rotation, reach overhead. You should feel that in the right quad. The right quad's doing a lot of work to hold you down there. Last one here. All right, so now you can just shift over to the side. I don't have any creative way to get to the other side. Same thing, but now to the left. Big side lunge left, rotation towards that knee, and now my right arm comes up and over the head, stretch. So you should feel it stretch all the way down to that hip, obliques, lower back, rotate left, big lean, up and over the head. All right, 3 more of those. Now the left quad should start getting tired. It's the one doing all the work now. 2-ish more of these. Assuming you're moving about the same speed that I am. All right, last one. Rotation, big lean, stretch. That side stretch should feel good. All right, so back to the push-ups, but now we're gonna bring the leg out wide for like a big groiner, a big stretch. So go chin to the chest, roll down slowly, walk the hands out to a plank. So you're still gonna do push up, back into a knee tuck. As you come out of that knee tuck, just tap one foot forward. So that foot comes way up by the hands. And then go back to plank. Push up, into a tuck. As you come out of that tuck, bring your other leg up to the front. So 10 of those total, 5 for each leg. You're just alternating big right step. And then next time, big left step. And you're gonna hold that big step for as long as you want. I feel like I could probably stay there for a little too long. Let's put like a 3 or 4 second max on it. Stretch into it maybe as long as you can to just take a deep breath. And then move on. 10 of these guys. Should have 1 or 2 more left. It should feel good coming out of that tuck into that big step. You already have momentum going in that direction. All right, when you're done there, stand up slowly. Round 3. Okay, first round was that foot elevated. Second round was the foot out to the side. And now we're gonna do this like tucked leg. And what happens is when we bring that leg around, I just add this little twist to my hips. So now the outside of my hip will start to feel it. Ideally, don't set that right foot down. It's just like my calves are glued together. Same idea, try to touch down, come all the way back up to neutral. Touch down. And we'll do the same thing, 10 on this side, 10 on the other side. You should feel more effort in the outside of the hip now, less of just a hamstring stretch. The fourth round that we go through for this is going to be kind of different. It will not be a hamstring stretch. It will be like an entry to a single leg squat. It will be fun. 10 of these guys. And when you're done, you're doing the same thing on the other side. Just plant the right foot down, tuck that left leg. So in doing so, I'm just kind of twisting the hips. Same idea, touch down, come all the way back up. Every time you want to make sure the shoulders stack over the hips. 10 of these guys. And you should be paying attention to that. Should feel a little bit of a burn in the outside of that hip abductor. Maybe a little bit up in like the glute med. All right, 10-ish. And then we'll go through one more round of those little like lunge combinations. All right, so back to the lunge combo. So remember the first round we did up and over, then we did over to the side. This time we're gonna do just like a big rotation. So in some ways this one's easier. It's not as demanding on the spine. So start with some space to the right. Last time, you have that big side lunge, rotation towards that knee, and then take the left arm and try to almost like reach it around as far back as you can. Unwind out of it, push back to neutral. So go through 5, side lunge, hip stretch, rotation, come out of it, push up that leg back to neutral. This is probably like the most cardio kind of thing that we do, kind of combination wise. Takes a lot of power to get down and out of that side lunge. So I just play music so you can't hear how heavy I'm breathing. And we're all good. Last one. All right, and then same thing on the other side. No fancy transition, just move to the other side. Now you need space to your left. Big side lunge. Rotation towards that left knee. Right arm reaches around, stretch. I feel like I can reach so far around that I lose my balance, which is maybe good that you're challenging yourself, but the idea is to stay grounded. Reach around far enough that you feel a stretch, but maybe not so far that you topple over. There's a fine line there. All right, 2 more of these. And then we'll go back to the push-up sequence, adding on to that one. It'll be the last time you do the push-ups though. All right. All right, do you just need room for a plank? So feet together, chin to the chest. Roll down, walk the hands out. So push up, knee tuck, wide step, and then you're just gonna take the hands off the ground. So push up, knee tuck, wide step, and then just take the hands off the ground as best you can. Hands go back down and you go back to a plank. Push up, knee tuck, wide step, and take the hands off the ground as best you can. If you really can just get one off, that's fine. The idea is you're just putting more weight in that already really stretched out flexed hip. All right, the 3 down, 7 to go. Don't get them mixed up. And move at whatever pace feels good for you. If it feels better to hold that groiner stretch, go for it. If you'd rather move to those push-ups a little quicker, you can do that too. We'll all end up at about the same spot. All right, 2 more of those. Nice job, guys. This is a hard one. I ran through this yesterday and I thought it was hard. All right. When you're done there, you get to stand up. So last time for these balance drills, remember first round we had the foot up, second round wide, third round tucked. Now you're gonna take the leg out to the front, which does a lot for your ability to reach down. So you're gonna have to kind of bend the knees and reach down to the ground and come back up. There's no way I can touch the ground. Maybe some of you are so much more flexible or skilled at these. Even if you're just reaching down to like knee level, that's great. It's a totally different feel. Now that you have the weight in front, the leg in front. I can't just rely on shifting the weight to the heel and stretching out the hamstring. All right, 10 of these. Same thing on the other leg whenever you're ready. Should feel like a decent quad workout. Other leg. That free leg is just extended out in front of you. I do think as you go on, you can get a little lower. You do start to fatigue, so in some ways it's harder for you to go down. But in some ways it's like your body, your brain just starts to trust that leg. It's like, okay, I could go down that far. What if I went down a little further? This should feel like the hardest version of the 4. It is for me at least. All right, when you're done there, we're gonna go into these squat and then shoulder mobility stuff. So when you're done there, feet together, you're going down into a low squat. When you go down low, bring the arms forward, palms are down. So imagine it's almost like a swimming stroke. Bring the palms up towards the ceiling, fingertips towards the ceiling, fingertips down the ground, fingertips forward. So go through 10 of those. This is just an isometric hold for the legs, and we're trying to get as much movement in the shoulders as you can. So see if you can go higher on either side. 10 of these guys. Okay, from there, you're gonna go hands down to the ground and walk the feet out wide. So the feet are about twice as wide apart as my shoulders are. You're just gonna bend one knee, keep the other straight, and then switch. Bend one knee, keep the other straight, and switch. Hands are just staying in the same spot. So do 5 each way. All right, when you're done there, walk the feet back together, and you're going back into that low squat where the arms are forward. This time, bring the arms around like you're trying to get the pinkies to touch. Mine have no hope of touching, but that's the idea. And then thumbs come together up front. Go through 10 of those. So you should just feel like the arms are kind of staying on the same level the whole time, just like down in the squat. Sweep the arms around. Should feel hard on the legs. 10 of these. All right, when you're done there, hands good to go back down to the ground, which should feel good. Walk the feet out wide again. I'll turn so you can see kind of what we're doing. This time, turn the toes out. Same idea, bend one knee, but this time walk the hand over to that foot. And then bend the other knee, bring the hand over to that foot. So it's almost like you're trying to get the right shoulder close to the left toes and the left shoulder close to the right toes. 5 on each side. So you're adding a little rotation in the upper half of the body, making it a little more demanding on the inside of the leg. All right, and then last time, walk the feet in. I promise this is the last thing we're gonna ask for the quads. So you're gonna go palms down, but when the arms come back around, you're going thumbs together, palms are up. Palms are down, thumbs together in front. Palms rotate to facing up, thumbs come together and back. So go through 10 of those. See if you can sit down into that squat really low. All right, 10 of each of these. Legs should feel tired. My legs feel tired. When you're done with those, good news, you just get to lay down. All right, so come up and out of that, grab a mat if you need it, or a towel, whatever you've got, and lay down on your back. So, starting with what we usually start with, which is just like a big, simple sit-up, but each round we're gonna change what the arms are doing. So, legs are straight, arms are straight overhead, swing the arms up, one hand goes on each side of that straight leg, and roll back down, and then switch sides. Easy enough, we're only doing 12 of these. So that's 6 for each side. And move at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. Maybe it feels better to stay up there for a while. Maybe it feels better to take a break between each one. Whatever gets you through 12. All right, between each round, rather than being so open, we're gonna like close everything up. So tuck the knees in close, hands below the hips. Basically, this is like pre-position. Legs are just staying as they are. You can relax the head and neck, and you're just trying to push down with the hands and pull the hips up just a little bit. So go through 15 of those. They're just these like short little lifts. It's essentially a crunch, but rather than crunching the upper half of the body up, we're letting the upper half of the body just chill out and asking the lower half of the body to roll up, which has really the same demands on the core. All right, you have 2 more rounds of those, of what we just did. And then we're gonna do a little stretch, and then you're done. Not so bad. All right, second round, you're going back to legs straight out. Right, first round we had arms over the head. This time we're gonna have fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna try to keep them pointing up towards the ceiling. Like imagine you have lasers coming out of your fingers, and the laser pointers have to hit the ceiling the whole time. So you're gonna sit up, left leg comes up, arms are still reaching up, and then switch sides. So in some ways this should feel harder because you're losing that swing. You're keeping the arms overhead. Exhale on the up, control on the down. Exhale up, control down. We're gonna do 12 of these, 6 on each side. When you're done with those 12, hands go back down, knees tuck in. These won't change. So you're just gonna get better and better at them. 15 little roll-ups. Check the angle of the knees. So notice nothing changes about this angle. If you were to just flick the legs up, then you're just using that momentum. The more you can keep the lower half of the body just tucked in tight, the more you should feel that in the core. 15 little lifts. And you only have 1 more round, then you get to stretch. We've been stretching, but you get to stretch out your core and the front of the hip. All right, when you're done with those 15, legs straight back out. This time, fingertips are reaching for the toes the whole time. So if I lift my left foot up, I'm still reaching for my right toe down here. That makes sense? So there's like pre-positioned mummy arms kind of. They're not able to do anything in terms of like helping me get up. Because it helps to have a little bit of weight out in front of you, but they're not able to swing any. 12 of these, 6 on each leg. These get hard at the end. All right, I think that's 12. Maybe not, I'll do 1 extra just in case. Okay, hopefully that's 12. Knees tucked in, you'd think I would learn to count, but now 15 little roll-ups. Lifting the hips up as high as you can and setting them down as lightly as you can. Relax the head and neck. If your abs are not tired at this point, I'm not sure how to make them tired. You should have like 3 or 4 more. All right, when you're done there, reach the toes out, reach the arms over the head, and just take a big deep breath, trying to stretch out the core. grab the left, what is that, my right knee with the left hand and use that to just rotate around. So we're gonna do a rotation where you're facing up and a rotation where you're facing down. If your right knee is the one that's leading that twist, see if you can try to keep the right shoulder on the ground. Slowly come out of that. Same thing on the other side. Use that arm to help twist you around. Okay, from there, rotate over, hands on the ground, hips connected, go chin up, eyes up. So you're just getting another big stretch for the core. And then relax the chest and lay the stomach down, pick up one leg and try to just rotate it around, open up the hip. So we're just trying to do like scorpions. We're just trying to open up this hip flexor. Slowly come out of that. Same thing on the other side. Reach all the way around, up and over, stretching at the front of the hip. And then last thing, come into child's pose, stretch out the lower back, feet tucked under. Yay, we made it. Nice job, guys. That was a hard one. Well done, everybody. Good to see you guys. Bye, Amy, Chris, Ramona. Oh.